Welcome to The Wedding Edit, a wedding planning podcast for the modern couple. We're your hosts, Lauren and Dana.
So we're thrilled today to have Stephen from Oscar Hunt. So welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Fabulous to have you here.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're going to be talking all things suits today with Stephen. He's like the master of knowing all the things to do with suits, which
All
is
the things, I like it.
Yes, that's
We'll
very
either call you Stephen or all-knowing suit master. Depends how much time we have.
Talking about getting your wedding party kitted out into a suit and all of the things that go along with that. So for our first question today, how soon should someone come in if they're looking at getting a suit with Oscar Hunt? Like what are the lead times for that?
Yeah, for sure. So my typical lead time here in Adelaide is about 12 weeks at the moment. It's more so just because we're really busy. But the general construction time of a suit from when we do your first fitting till basically we're at a point to do your second fitting is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, just depending where the fabric that we've picked comes from. So if it's a house fabric, it's 4 weeks. And if it's something we have to order specifically, like 2.5, 3 meters just for your suit from our mills that we use, that generally takes a couple of weeks of extra delivery time from somewhere in Europe. But then you have to account for a second fitting, which is the second fitting. Yeah. And then following that will be a third fitting, generally about a week later. So sort of shortest amount of time would be anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks if someone's in a rush.
Yeah.
And then my preferred lead time where you can enjoy the process and actually have fun with it. I don't have to stress and you don't have to stress. It's about 10, 12 weeks.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
So kind of be organised in advance. And do you find you're getting people in a year out from their wedding, and are you happy taking those inquiries at that time as well?
Oh yeah. It's crazy at the moment. I'm getting people inquiring for 2024, which is really good actually, to be honest. Sometimes like the lead in like that, it's a long time, so it can lose a bit of the excitement. But yeah, a year is more than fine. Usually I tend to find most of the people that we see, I generally see them close to that 12-week mark. If anything, maybe 4-6 months out. So,
that's really good to know.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
I
nice
thought that would be longer.
No, it's really good to have a bit of wiggle room, just because it allows, if something happens, any delays, someone gets sick or anything like that, it just means we don't have to stress about trying to squeeze someone in. We can push back a week and it's not going to affect or make anyone or the bride, the groom, whoever get stressed. So yeah, the more time, the better is my sort of motto. But with made to measure, obviously one of the biggest things is we measure you based on how you are at that point. And that's generally what your suit's going to come in for.
Yeah.
So if someone's keen on doing like a big health kick or anything like that, we generally advise to get it done preferably before we kit you out. Don't get me wrong, like made to measure, there's the ability to adjust, but it's better if you're sort of matching what you come in as. So yeah.
Yeah, well, only so many adjustments you can make.
Yeah, very true. 100%.
So Stephen, in the wedding industry, we have found in the past it isn't the most inclusive industry. A lot of us suppliers and a lot of people getting married are really fighting for visibility, for inclusivity. And I guess I wanted to ask, what is Oscar Hunt doing, or what is your idea behind inclusivity with sizing, different sizing, but also for people getting married, for men, women, non-binary folks, people anywhere on that beautiful gender spectrum who are getting married, how can they expect to feel and be welcomed by Oscar Hunt? What's on offer there for all different people who are getting married?
I love this question. It's so much fun to answer because I'm so proud of it.
Excellent.
Well, one thing that I'm really, really proud of with Oscar Hunt, and our women's wear has helped us with that point of inclusivity a lot. From the get-go with the women's wear, it wasn't only just about that we can now do women. It obviously opens the doors to be able to do, if people prefer a slightly more feminine fit or prefer a more masculine fit or a what's the word? It'll come to me and I'll re-answer that a little bit there. But yeah, it's just allowed us to be able to basically fit anyone and everyone. And from the get-go with the women's wear, it's been all about inclusivity. The very first marketing push that we did, we've never used what I'd call a typical model. It's been about using people from all different cultures, all different sizes. And because of that, I think it's actually really resonated with the market as well. Because to be honest, the majority of people that I've made suits for our women's wear have not been, again, what you typically see in typical women's wear marketing.
Yeah.
So it's been literally absolutely everyone else but the typical cut.
Yeah.
You know? And it's awesome because a well-fitted suit on anyone looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
So I'm super, super excited that we can now do that. And same with our menswear. We've always had that ability from the get-go, being made to measure. We can generally pretty much fit everyone, which is great. And even if we don't necessarily have a block size that fits straight off the bat, because we're made to measure, we can still wrap a tape around you and figure out what we need to do to make sure that we can do something that works. So for the majority of folk, we can pretty much do everyone, which is awesome.
That's really fabulous to hear, because sometimes getting fitted for what you are going to wear on your wedding day can be a difficult experience for people. So I think, couples who are looking to get married are going to love hearing they can just come in, see you at Oscar Hunt, and you'll be able to make something beautiful for them in that cut, in that fit, in that style that's going to suit them on their wedding day. Sounds like you've got access to beautiful fabrics as well. So I think that's fantastic. And I do have to say, having a look through the Instagram, personally, I was really thrilled to see people of different shapes and sizes, especially as you mentioned your women's wear campaign. That was beautiful. Also people of colour in your marketing materials. I think people want to see themselves when they look at marketing materials. So
100%.
It's definitely something to be proud of, and, we can all do more, but I love that that's an amazing start from Oscar Hunt. So thank you.
No, thank you. And you bang on the money there as well. It's super exciting to be able to bring something like that to the market. And Oscar Hunt's just done a really big rebrand because we want to be known as the Australian tailor. And I mean, you look at the general population of Australia, we've got everyone and anyone, which is awesome. And to be able to say, yeah, we're the Australian tailor that can cater for that is just like even better. So bag of fruit suit, love it.
Love it. Absolutely fantastic.
So, Stephen, can you tell us about the process from start to finish about getting your wedding suit from Oscar Hunt?
Yeah, so with Oscar Hunt, there's probably about 4 times that I generally book someone in. The first booking that we generally do is a consultation. I really like to separate the consultation and the first fitting just because generally they run for about an hour, each of them. So just to be able to give people bit of time to think about things is our number one thing, because you should never feel forced or rushed to make a decision like this, because a typical suit from us anywhere between $1,000 up to $3,500, depending on the fabric, depending on the mill. There's a lot of reasons that affect. It's really only the fabric that affects cost, but so yeah, for a lot of people, even $1,000 it's a fair chunk of money. So you never want someone to leave feeling buyer's remorse. We want everyone to be excited about what they're going to be getting rather than stressed or anxious. Yeah. So normally if the consultation will run for about an hour. Generally the first half an hour of that is just us getting to know each other. Yeah. We don't even talk suits or shop. We really like to get to know the people we're going to be spending the next 3-4 months with, and being a part of a really big day. So it's great to get to know people on a personal level, because just from that, people really relax a little bit. Yeah. And once you can get on someone's level and they get on yours, it just becomes so much more fun.
And then you can make suggestions as well if you know them a little bit and
exactly right.
know what you have there on offer. You can be like, oh, this is something you would probably consider.
100%. And look, a lot of our wedding clients become general clients after, because once you get something that fits incredibly well, it's really hard to go back. So a lot of the guys will become like work suits, will just be something they buy. I had a couple recently who just bought some summer suits, and we did their wedding like 6 months ago. And yeah, they love coming back for the suits, but also just to see us. So it's really good fun.
Well, for that service, you know, you've
yeah.
sat down with people, you've gotten to
100%.
know them, you've found out what they like. People, I do think sometimes now you can't always go and find that personal service. So if they know they're coming in and start to finish, you're looking after them and giving them time.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful feeling.
Oh, 100%. Without sounding too bold, we know our suits are really good. We've been doing it for 11 years now. The fabrics we use are the best of the best. So we know our suits have hit the mark, which is really cool. So something that we really focus on is everything outside of that, which is the experience. So I like to sort of tell people Oscar Hunt's an experience and the suits are a byproduct, which is so true. And that's across the board with everyone. So yeah, it's pretty fun. But yeah, after the consult, we generally will book in. If people are keen to go ahead with us, we'll book in a first fitting. And at that point is generally where we will obviously fit them up for the suit, which is really good fun. If it's a wedding party, it's even more fun because you come in as a group, you have some drinks, and you know, generally I do it the last one of the day so we can run over time a little bit, and just becomes like a mini party, mini event. So they're really good fun. And we run through everything one last time, and that's generally the point where go or no go. So any decision we've made from a design perspective, style, fabric choice, you know, monogram inside the suit, whatever it is, that you can change your mind a million times up until that point.
Which is
once
the first fitting, up until the end
correct.
of the first fitting. Okay.
End of the first fitting, and that's generally when you'd pay for your suit as well. Once you've paid for it and the order's been placed, that's it. You can't make any changes from there.
deal.
It's a done deal. You're locked in.
Then it's just tweaking it with that fit, with that.
Correct, yeah. So usually 4 to 6 weeks later from that first fitting is generally when we'd book the second fitting. A second fitting is where we actually have the suit made up, and it's generally the time that people get really excited because up until this point, and being made to measure and custom, it's for some people it's hard to visualize just from a little 2x4 sort of swatch that you have.
I'm that person.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
look,
like to
totally,
see it on. I like to see it on.
100%. And that's, you know, we do our best to have samples in the showroom that showcase as many different things as we can. But if I was to make every single fabric,
it would be so expensive.
we'd be broke.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really good to see them get excited the first time they see the suit. And obviously when they put it on, it's an even better feeling. Because for a lot of people, it's the first time that they've put something on and it's been pretty damn close to being perfect. For a lot of them, if I wasn't there, they'd probably take it and say, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But we're pretty fastidious about what we do, and that's why people come to us. So there's generally adjustments that we do, and it's just tweaking stuff like sleeve length, waist, hips,
Yeah.
you know, the length of the trouser based on the shoe. Very, very pedantic stuff, but it for us, it makes a world of a difference. And for photographers and other suppliers in the industry who see it all the time, they can tell.
Yeah.
We work with a lot of suppliers and they can pick when they're wearing an Oscar Hunt suit and when someone's not.
Yeah.
And it's just from having a good fitting suit. Don't have to spend $1 million on a ridiculously expensive fabric. If the suit fits well, it looks $1 million. So after the second fit is the third fit. And I sort of like to time that a week or two out from the wedding, because essentially that's just double checking everything. And I like to do it as close to the wedding as possible because it's the last time I get to see my client before their big day. We're probably one of the few suppliers that don't have anything to do on the day. All of our work's done prior. So being able to see them as close as possible to the wedding day it's cool because they really get excited. They might be nervous. You can calm their nerves. You know, they're finally taking the suit. For us, it's never the end. Like we look after our suits forever. But yeah, it's the last time you get to see them before the big day and the big event. And you know, last time you can essentially ask them if they need any help with whatever it is. You know, we try and go above and beyond. So yeah, it's good fun handing them that suit and, you know, seeing them. Usually we follow up in like a couple of weeks because I love seeing photos and catching up with people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, it's really good to see them on that last sort of send off. And it also gives us enough time, God forbid, if we need to tweak something a little bit further, I can get small adjustments done in a couple of days. So if something drastic happened,
Yeah.
like someone loses an arm, we can adjust for it.
From
Yeah.
from one of the hens or bucks
So
or
if
whatever.
you lose your
Yeah,
arm,
if you lose your arm,
at your bucks, call Oscar Hunt
call Oscar Hunt
immediately.
and we'll
They'll get it
remove,
sorted.
we'll remove
Good.
the arm. Yeah. So it can help. But yeah, it's 3 fittings overall. Sometimes a 4th. That's usually if we have to tweak anything at the 3rd fitting. And then it's au revoir. Have a beautiful time.
Oh, that's nice. So it's quite an involved process. And in that initial stage with the consultation, are you taking bookings for those consultations? Do you find people are just walking in and seeing you, hey, I want a consultation right now? I guess that could be a little hard to juggle with the demand that you're currently seeing.
100%. On our socials and our website, we totally accept walk-ins and they're always welcome. It's hard though. It's really hard because Saturdays for me are fully booked weeks in advance.
Yes.
I'm looking at my October schedule at the moment and 2 out of the 4 Saturdays are fully booked already. November's about the same.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, I'm hiring another guy because I need the capacity for it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But Melbourne and Sydney, who have been around for 11 and just over 7, I think, there's a pretty big team there and they've all got a front of house. So we've just got more capacity there for walk-ins. But even then, if someone's a walk-in, typically we'll show them around, but we'll still book them in for an actual consultation.
Yeah.
Because a big part of the experience is being one-to-one with someone. You don't want to be dealing with one client and then looking over your shoulder to try and answer another question from someone else who's just walked in. So as much as we can, we do prefer people to book. It just means you've guaranteed yourself a time and you've guaranteed yourself
the service,
100% focus and service that you definitely deserve through coming to Oscar Hunt. So walk-ins are welcome, but booking is much nicer.
Yeah, it'd be much more beneficial, I think, for couples to book. Yeah,
100%, especially when it comes through other suppliers, which is great. Like the people that we work with, when we get someone passing on, go chat with Oscar Hunt, we can start that service from the get-go rather than someone knocking on our door and me unfortunately saying, sorry, bud, like I'm so swamped today.
Yeah.
There's no chance I can squeeze you in. If I could, I would.
Yeah.
But generally people book in at that time anyway. So we see them a week or 2 later.
Yeah.
So here at The Wedding Edit, obviously we're all about fashion.
Fashion.
Well, look, Dana more than me. Dana's a fashion icon. I just roll in here in sneakers. But I did want to ask, what kind of trends are you seeing coming through with wedding suits? Talk us through what's happening with that.
Trends is always a fun word because I guess at Oscar Hunt, one thing we really strive to do is create things that are timeless more than trendy.
I like that. That's classy.
Yeah. Trends come and go, especially in fast fashion. And, there's the sort of thing where you look at your parents' wedding pictures from, 60s and 70s and they had, flares and stuff and you probably won't see them wearing them ever. Which is fine.
They're back in fashion
But
now.
that's the thing. There we go. Now, yeah. 20 years later.
Too true.
Yeah. So that's just something that I guess we really strive to do. If someone comes in with no idea what they want, we try and educate them on a timeless, elegant look more than trying to follow what's trendy. Don't get me wrong. Like there's definitely things and fabrics and colors that are seasonal because it's pretty much a cyclic sort of thing. Like as seasons come and go, those colors come and go. That hasn't really changed. So for me, that's what I'd probably call trends, would be more so to do with seasonal things. So in the autumns and springs, we tend to see more people wanting the beige linen, the sage green, the burnt orange, the browns, a bit more, not so much navy, but the sort of lighter, more colourful tones. And then in winter, it's again typically a little bit more, navies, black tie, charcoals come out to play. But in saying that, I have all of the above throughout the entire year as well. And that's sort of the fun thing is if someone wants to wear sage in winter, we're not going to say no, it'll look brilliant. So it's very much an individualistic style than it is trends. But again, we educate people. I'm not going to make someone a heavy black woolen suit in summer because I know they're going to boil and they're not going to want to wear it. But I can still make them a stunning black tuxedo out of wool, but it's, woven a bit differently. It's a little bit lighter. It's got more of an open weave. So there's a lot of thought that goes into what we suggest and what we show people. That's probably the best way I can answer that one.
And I think also as well, it comes the sustainability with that as well. If it's a classic suit, you can wear it for years to come. And these are suits that people are also like, they're not, they're not too expensive. They're affordable, but they're also, you're spending enough on them that you want them to serve you for more than one purpose.
100%. That's actually, we find people come in and request that. They want a suit that they can use more than once. Don't get me wrong. If it's a black tie suit, it's a black tie suit. You can't really wear it anywhere else.
No, that's
true. If you're game enough, go for it. I'm all for it. But sometimes people will come in and be like, I want a formal suit that I can wear pretty much to every other event.
Yeah.
And because of that info that we get, and that's why we spend a little bit of time getting to know people before, because generally they tell us what they do for a living, or they tell us that they don't usually wear suits, and that will sort of help us show them something that is going to suit the need rather than just be a sale, because that's just not what we do. So making sure it has purpose rather than just looks good and ticks all the boxes is so much more important.
The wonderful thing, I guess, about the experience that you're giving, creating that timeless suit for somebody, creating a garment that they can love and wear again because they feel so excellent and so comfortable in it, is also that it's going to be very sustainable. They're not picking something up and using it once and then getting rid of it. It's something that they've invested enough in that they want to be able to wear it more than once, but also it gives them flexibility to come back and have a few pieces. So I guess that's something that maybe without even trying, Oscar Hunt are doing to help sustainability. Are there other practices you're engaging in for ethical and sustainable practice? I guess practices is the word of the moment. Ethical and sustainable practice with creating your suits. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think the textile industry is a fun one. It's unfortunately one of the most unsustainable industries. But because of that, they're doing a lot of work to try and rectify that. And one really good thing, like you said, about going made to measure and custom is we're not making tens of thousands of one suit or one design that may or may not get sold. We're making one of one. So that's probably one of the biggest avenues about sustainability with us is we're only using what we need. We're not using everything and anything. And the mills that we work with, so the guys that actually make the fabrics that we use, they are the best of the best. They are the best quality. They're very luxurious. They've been around for some of them hundreds of years. Like Dorme as an example has been around since 1842 and they're still family owned.
Oh, wow.
So that only happens when you do really, really good stuff. But because of that, a lot of the mills are in Europe as well. So the standards of practice are very, very high. They have to be moving towards that full sustainability model. A lot of them have accreditations to do with sustainable cotton that they use, sustainable wool. There's a lot that they're doing to really push that sustainability mark for the business and the industry as a whole. And it's really exciting to see. As an example, earlier today I got a package from Dorme, and on the package it talks about how the package that they've sent me is in 100% recycled cardboard, which is great. And then on the inside they say rather than using bubble wrap, they've actually used recycled sustainable wool as the sort of packaging instead of bubble wrap. And I think it was like just over 2,000 centimeters squared of bubble wrap wasn't used because they used this sustainable wool instead. And what's really cool is it's a beautiful packaging and I can reuse it now as well. So it's just that reusing and sustainability is not just in the fabrics, but in how things are delivered, how things are packaged. Everyone's moving towards that, which is really good. And where our suits get made, as well is they have to abide by basically the standards of the countries that they ship products to. Obviously being in Australia, they'd ship all over Europe, America, and Europe has the highest environmental standards pretty much out of most countries. So to be able to even send products there, they have to abide by those standards. So the made to measure world is a really cool take on custom garments because there's so much technology that's involved, which helps with that sustainability side of things. So everything's laser cut, which is brilliant because we can measure someone up, create a pattern for them, and a computer can put together how it needs to be cut from that piece of fabric in order to have as little waste as possible.
That's amazing.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Going and seeing, videos of where our suits are made is incredible. It's like Tony Stark's like warehouse. It's and I'm not even kidding.
No,
like,
that's
I'm
a very
serious.
good way of putting it, honestly.
That's literally what it looks like.
Suits by Stark Industries.
Suits by Stark, yeah. Patent pending. No.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of technology involved. There's still a lot of like humans involved as well, which is really great. There's still a lot of hands-on tailors, and everything's above board because it has to be. So, there's no such thing, at least where we get our suits put together, there's no such thing as child slavery because that wouldn't be right from an ethical standpoint for Australia, let alone Europe. We're really proud of where our suits get put together and just all the standards that are involved with the people that we use. And it's just getting better and better, which is even better. Directly from Oscar Hunt as well. Our remade suits or our samples that are no longer needed, we don't just ditch them. We generally pass them on to salvos or anyone else so they can have a second life. So there's a few things that we're trying to do as well from our standpoint directly to just limit waste and be a bit more sustainable and have our suits get as long of a life as humanly possible. So
that's so good because so many couples nowadays are looking for their vendors to be sustainable and ethical.
Yeah.
Like it's on the top of their list, I think, when
100%.
they're choosing people.
Yeah, definitely. It's
So
kind of
good that
cool
you're
as
doing
well.
that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like had a client come in, a wedding party come in, and one of the guys was vegan, which was pretty cool because everyone had like a black tuxedo, and then we were able to put together a full cotton tuxedo for him, and instead of using an oxhorn button, we used a nut button. And to be honest, the cotton tux actually looked like really bowler.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I almost liked it better than I did the woolen ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, where we can, we do our best. I don't know if it was 100% vegan certified, but just being able to use no animal products in the construction of the suit was kind of cool.
Stephen, my dear, please talk to me, enlighten me about accessories, cufflinks. Are they even a thing? Ties. Are we doing a skinny tie? Are we doing a bow tie? Do you even sell accessories? Help me. What's the deal with the accessories?
Accessories are good fun. We have cufflinks, we have ties, we have bow ties. Again, it's up to the end user. It's one of those things, there's no black and white sort of rules when it comes to that. I'll take that back. There's probably one rule-ish. Follow it as you please. Black tie sort of says it in itself. So black tie, bow tie is my personal preference.
Yeah.
See, it's how little I know about accessories.
Well, I think-
Black tie means cufflinks. No, it means a bow tie, Lauren. Sorry,
It
Stephen.
looks a little bit strange with the tie, I think.
Yeah, it can do. But again, if that's what someone wants to
Yeah,
wear,
of course.
I'm not going to say no.
Sorry, I'm not knocking like someone's style out there.
No.
Support all ties. We're
types,
inclusive
yeah.
of all types of tie
I
wearing.
love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's again up to the end user entirely. We educate people on what looks good because we've been doing it for a while, and again, it just comes back to that timeless look.
Yeah.
So yeah, bow ties all for it, neckties all for it, skinny ties get out of my house. Yeah, sorry to all those skinny tie lovers. Can't do it.
It's a real throwback to the 80s.
Can't do it. I'm going to be a bit sassy with it. They're very tacky.
What about like a skinny tie with piano keys on it? I mean,
my God.
if that's not the epitome of class, oh my gosh,
that's the
absolutely.
exception. That's the exception. If you got piano keys on it, 100% every
that
day.
is
Is a
Yeah.
clown wearing it?
Do you do clown suits? In our next segment, clown suits from Oscar Hunt.
Next week.
Where to get those giant red shoes?
Oh my God.
I don't think they could do clown suits because they'd be like oversized. Like what clown
No, we
wears
can.
a well-fitting suit?
We
true.
could definitely do an oversized suit if that's what you
Yeah.
want. No problem. All those clowns out there, hit me up.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald, yeah. We get free Maccas for life. No. I don't like skinny ties. I don't think most guys in menswear would probably suggest a skinny tie. Again, it's one of those things that's a trend.
Yeah.
Trends come and go. Skinny ties can go forever.
I just don't like
Please just
ties.
keep going.
I'm with Dana. I love a bow tie.
Bow
Yeah.
ties are
Any
so
day of the
classy.
week, even a more
Yeah.
casual look.
100%. And I think for a lot of people, the reason why they don't like bow ties is because they've either never worn it or they've had a really average, shitty, skinny bow tie,
Yeah.
which makes them look
Yeah.
like they're in high school again. We've got some incredible ties.
Yeah.
A lot of our ties are handmade from Italy, from a company called Biagio, and like really, really well made bow ties. And they look so classy.
Yeah.
So classy. If that's the look you're going for, that elegant, sophisticated, bit of class, like, looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like a well-tied bow tie, so nice. Because at the end of the night, you can like undo it and have like
Yeah.
a little bit
I
dangling,
think
and
that's
it's such
really
a like,
hot.
The James Bond-esque.
yeah.
Sorry, shots fired.
All the skinny tie lovers, I'm sorry. We sell neckties as well, and I sell a lot of them for weddings. But yeah, I think there's just something special about a bow tie for a wedding. I just think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But
I feel
yeah,
a tie is more of like a guest thing.
can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can
I
be.
love a bow tie for a guest though.
Yeah, same.
It almost has
It's
I know,
bow tie or nothing for me.
More
Yeah.
personality in a bow
Yeah.
tie. I know
Yeah.
that sounds like a crazy
It's
thing
dressing
to
up.
say.
No, you're so right. It's because, I mean, typically you don't wear a bow tie to work. Some people do, but
that's true.
typically you
I was
won't
gonna
wear a
wear
bow
one today.
tie
I'm
to
glad I
work.
didn't.
Oh, you should have.
So-
It would have been awesome. It's an event. Today's an event, so all for that. But it's like dressing up. It's that final piece that you put on just to
Yeah.
jazz things up a little
Yeah.
bit and have a bit more fun and not wear what you typically wear. So yeah, I love bow ties. I think they're so cool. I'm doing them for my wedding, so it's going to look sick. And some people have, on their invitations, that's something actually we discuss a lot with our couples generally when they come in. Generally, it's a couple that'll come in anyway. Sometimes they're on their own, but it's fun when the couple comes in, is dress code. Dress code's a massive thing because so many people are unsure what to put on their invitation as a dress code. And this sort of comes around to accessories as well. You can do what you want is like my number one thing to everyone out there. Do what makes you happy. Do what look you like. Like if there's a look on Pinterest you like, bring that into us and we'll describe what that look is.
Yeah.
And we help people to be very careful with what they write on dress code because cocktail technically is a full suit and tie.
Okay.
A cocktail in Australia for some reason is chinos and a shirt for some people. So,
Yes.
there's ways we can help word what people need to write on their invitations, such as, if they want proper cocktail, generally we say write formal cocktail on there. Because when people hear the word formal and they're like, okay,
A suit.
it's probably a suit. And then if someone wants black tie, but they really want everyone to be in black tie, you say black tie. But if people are like, I want black tie, but I don't really care if people are wearing a black tie or not, you say black tie optional.
So is a black tie literally a tie that is black?
Typically a black tie is that sort of James Bond
That
Yeah.
tuxedo,
The
like
tuxedo,
a black
yeah.
tux
bow
with the
tie.
black bow
That's
tie.
that's generally what people want when you say black tie.
Yeah. And
But if-
everyone would wear that though.
Normally.
Okay.
No.
So everyone
If
would
most-
look the same.
Yeah,
Well, not the
but
same, but
that's the thing. Some
it's an
people
ex-
really want that look of
Yeah.
That extremely formal,
correct. And they want that
uniformed look.
monochromatic look. So when they take that big photo with everyone, if
Yeah.
they do that photo, it looks very black and white. And then usually the groom will be in like a white jacket and the bride obviously, but will be in something different compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
So it just gives that contrast as well. And for my wedding, we're doing black tie, but black tie optional. So I want everyone in a suit no matter what.
Yeah.
And my way of making sure that happens is by telling everyone it's very formal, but you don't have to wear a tuxedo, but you have to be in a suit and a tie.
Absolutely. I think it also sometimes the black tie thing and the dress code thing can be a cultural consideration. I'm Lebanese, and in the traditional Lebanese weddings that I go to or that I'm part of or for my family, it's written as black tie because it gives that respect and weight to the situation, to the point that friends, may not even have their own suit that's going to suit that, to the point that I think some people have even had to hire for an evening. But I know my family members all appreciate an Oscar hunt or somewhere beautiful, they can come and have that suit made, because when we write black tie on our invitation, we mean kind of
Black tie.
come in that
Yeah.
look with your black bow tie, the sea of James Bonds out there, because it does give that weight and that, respect to the beautiful
100%.
event that's happening.
Definitely agree.
And for anyone attending, it could be the suit, or it could be a full-length gown, or it could be something in between, but that gives a nod to how formal the event really is. So I like it in that way. And I know that's different, because usually I'm footloose and fancy free, and I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone needs to express themselves. But I think because of my background and where I've come from, somehow when I see black tie on a wedding invite, I'm so passionate about it and like, don't wear that, it's not exact, So I think the families do seem to appreciate that at the time of the wedding.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that so much so. It gives more, respect just to the event and to the couple. I think it's like you want to be there.
Yeah.
You care about being there. You're excited for them. And it's a lot of people just will ask the question anyway, like, what do I wear?
Yeah.
So if you can describe it as respectfully as you can, but give them as much information as humanly possible, like make it easy for them is like the number one thing. But I get a lot of people who will ask, like, and this is why the black tie is so weird, because they'll be like, I want everyone to be dressed up formal, but I don't want people to go out and buy a suit.
Of course.
They're trying to be, which is totally fine if that's if that's your vibe that you're going for and that's the sort of person you are, like, go for it. I'm a bit more stern. Just because I'm in the industry, like I know what I want. I know that I'd really like everyone to have that respect. And I'd love for everyone to be dressed up.
Yeah.
We're at a beautiful venue. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be beautiful food and drinks. I do not want to see someone rock up in jeans and a shirt. I will probably ask them to go away.
Jeans at a wedding.
Yeah.
I have seen many a jeans at a wedding.
But that's what I mean. Like you're right. At my engagement party, we wrote cocktail. And we had people rocks up in shorts and like a short sleeve shirt.
Board shorts.
Well, that's it pretty much.
Yeah.
And even cocktail, what I was expecting was, all right, if guys rock up in chinos and a jacket, that's okay.
Yeah.
But like I had people rocking up in even less. So that's why I always advise people, say one up of what you want people to be in, because the lowest someone will come will be one down.
Yeah.
So
They
if you
may
say-
relax
True.
it just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Correct.
Or,
It's really
like-
good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it is so personal.
It is, yeah.
Like, I've done plenty of weddings where everyone wear your jeans, everyone come comfy,
100%.
and I think that's wonderful. It's kind of all about matching it to what the couple's passion is and what the
Definitely.
couple are excited about. So I
100%.
guess that's why, it
It's
can be
individualistic,
important.
100%. Yeah. Like I've got guys who want to do the chinos and a jacket, and that's the cocktail vibe they want for their wedding. And that's what they advise everyone else to basically wear. Like the dress code will be cocktail, chinos and a shirt.
Yeah,
They'll actually write that.
They'll
And it's
actually write
perfect.
something that
Yeah,
detailed.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're stressed out about people rocking up in less than what you want them, write one up.
Yeah.
It's probably like a really good piece of advice I can give. Like if you want people in black tie, write formal black tie.
Absolutely.
That's like just stresses the fact that formal black tie. And in brackets, write black tie not optional. Like you can be, it's your wedding, you're paying for it. Like you can say exactly what you want people to be, and it's your day. Yeah, you can be a bit selfish, you're allowed to.
I feel like couples want permission for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
We always talk about couples doing their day their way, how
Yeah.
they want to do things. That's what we
Exactly.
encourage here. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because you don't want a day that's all about other people. No. So, yeah.
That can be any day of the week. I
Yeah,
think the
exactly right.
That's Monday.
the wedding day go a little bit wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A little bit wild.
Just a little bit wild. Go so wild as to write black tie on your invite.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
how crazy
Black tie.
we're getting here.
Watch out.
So, Stephen, tell us about dress codes and what they mean. You're like, that's a joke.
Bang. Fuck. All right. Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. Dress codes. Ba-bum.
They never mean what they actually mean.
No,
do they?
I mean, there's like traditional dress codes, and there's like what we sort of perceive them to be today as well.
Yeah.
There's probably about 4 or 5. There's heaps of subcategories, and this is sort of what I was saying earlier about you can sort of put words together to get the idea that you want. But I would say dress code wise, for like easy, just the sort of pillars of it, you got casual,
Which
got-
is
Board shorts.
again, yeah.
like your boardies.
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it's even that. I
yeah.
think it's
So
like jeans.
in I guess our world, casual would be chinos and a shirt.
Yeah.
so you're saying like like if you're going to a more
Yeah,
formal event
correct.
dress code, what people may be suggesting.
yeah.
So casual is open neck shirt,
Open neck shirt, no tie,
Yeah.
slacks. Whether
no,
that's
no jean,
chinos,
no jean.
probably not. Again, this is like me talking about what I'd perceive it to be.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people in Australia, jeans would probably be okay for casual, to be able to wear to a casual wedding. But if someone was to come to me and get a suit and they said, or an outfit and said, this is casual, I'd probably put them in chinos and a shirt
Okay, great.
or a linen suit. But again, depending on the
that's
person,
nice.
depending on the
That
vibe.
sounds good.
The next one from sort of casual, I mean, obviously subcategory, neat casual, but I'm not going to stress on that too much. It's probably next from there is going to be cocktail. So cocktail is a fun one where I think a lot of people get wrong. So a lot of people will say cocktail and people will come dressed in casual or neat casual, which is chinos and a shirt and maybe a nice jacket. Proper cocktail is actually a suit and a tie. Not necessarily a bow tie, but a necktie.
Yeah.
And it's technically not a like very patterned designed suit. It's generally like a pretty flat color suit. Is like proper cocktail. But again, you know, in Australia, cocktail is sort of chinos, a shirt and a nice jacket through to like a pretty patterned bright suit through to a navy suit. Tie, no tie, bow tie, all of the above. Then from sort of cocktail, we go to, again, a subcategory, semi-formal. Really formal is the next one. And that's going to be a suit and a tie. And normally towards the sort of darker colours, like your navies, your blacks, your charcoals. But again, that's how I'd perceive it to be. Formal for most people will be a suit and a tie, and whatever colour you sort of want. And then up from that is black tie, which is tux and a bow tie. Then up from that, which is extremely rare, I've never done a suit from it in the few years I've been with Oscar Hunt, is white tie.
Oh.
White tie is actually a white bow tie with a morning coat. And a morning coat is what a lot of people would know as tails.
Oh, wow. I thought
Yeah.
you were going to say like a white coat.
No. So yeah, morning coat is tails, essentially, a jacket with the tails on the end. So they still wear that sort of look if you're invited to an event at the Palace. Yeah, actually, I was watching a few cool things. You still have to wear that style of outfit.
And also,
Wow.
of course, if you're a tap dancer.
Well, yes, yeah.
So-
Tap or jazz, yeah.
Tap dancers
for
and
sure.
clowns can both go to
Yeah,
Oscar.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
But can you actually get a coat or a jacket? Is it a coat or a jacket?
It's called
It's
a
called-
morning. It's called a morning
Yeah,
coat, but
a
people
morning
call them
coat.
people call
Yeah.
them tails as well, like a tails jacket.
You wouldn't be able to get that from
Off the rack, you probably won't find that anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you got to go to Oscar Hunt
Yeah,
for all your
if you
morning
want your
coat
morning
needs.
coats, yeah.
Oh, I was actually desperate for a morning coat. I'm so glad to see you today, Stephen, because then I can book my morning coat appointment.
Now, your morning coat version is like where you're going to go out for like tea and coffee and yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, my
You know.
brunch.
Meet clients.
Let's create a new jacket, brunch coat.
When I brunch coat.
Brunch coat.
New jacket.
I like it. I like
brunch
it.
coat.
The tails are just not as long, or
sounds good.
a little bit longer depending on how city you are.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Just inventing this.
We've invented a new
can do
dress
what you want.
code.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess dress codes and again, you know, all those subcategories that you can put in between, outside, all above, you know, you make it suit whatever you want the look to be. But yeah, it's probably about 4 or 5 like proper
Yeah.
categories, and then your sky's the limit for what you want to sort of put together and mix up. Yeah.
And you could help guide your couples on what to put on their dress code. And I guess at the end of the day, each couple is so different and so many different considerations that probably those close to the couple could even understand or interpret what a couple would mean by that dress code.
100%.
And they could also just, I guess, give the couple a buzz and say, look, I see you've put formal. I've been to weddings where I didn't even wear a tie to formal.
Yeah.
Is that what you're meaning? Or, you know, ask maybe a family member or something
100%.
if you're unsure.
Well, what I find a lot of people do, and this is from not only Oscar Hunt, but personally what I'm doing as well. Like a lot of couples have wedding websites now because you can create free ones, and it's a really good place to put a lot of those frequently asked questions.
Of course.
So we've got a full questions section on our wedding page, and one of those things that we answer is that exact question. What do you mean by black tie? What do you mean by this? So we've obviously put a description on there, and we haven't said we've said black tie optional because we don't necessarily need people to go out and buy a suit or buy a black tie tux. Like, we're not too stressed. We just would really like everyone to be in a suit and a tie. And we've specified that, there's, just Google it. There's some really good ways that you can put some really nice answers together that are polite but get to the point as well. So we found some really good ways to word a reply to what do you mean by black tie, or what can I wear to the wedding? And a lot of people have found it really useful. I've got clients who will put up links to examples of like, this is what we want you to wear. Like, they'll put pictures up on their wedding website. And look, I mean, if you're invited to most people's wedding, you should know the couple well enough, usually
to know what they mean.
To like, to know what they mean, but just to ask.
To ask them,
yeah. Just to be like, hey, like, what do you mean by cocktail, or what do you mean by formal? Can I wear this? Because suits are all good and well, but I think dresses are even harder, because that's something we've found for our wedding with the dress code that we've said formal, and people who have been sending pictures of, is this dress okay? And there's a really big difference between a cocktail style dress and a formal gown. And we've said, we would like those that want to wear a dress to come in wearing a formal, essentially floor length gown, not a cocktail dress.
I want to be invited.
Yeah.
Because it meets the dress code.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, 100%. And
lovely.
that sort of helps us steer the guys as well by saying, those who want to wear a dress, please wear a floor length gown.
Yeah.
Because then the guy's not going to be like,
those who want to wear
formal.
a suit.
They're going to be like, all right, this is a pretty formal event, then I'm going to put on a tie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for accessibility as well, I mean, it's amazing for the couple, for the wedding party, and for the guests to be able to come to Oscar Hunt and have a suit made. But not a lot of people have the luxury of doing that for every wedding.
Definitely.
So where the couple are investing that time and that money in coming to see you and getting this beautiful suit, that doesn't mean they're asking their guests to do that.
No.
Obviously we have to acknowledge that those things come with a certain amount of financial privilege. However, I have been at weddings where there has been that dress code, and guests who don't have access to that have been able to borrow a lovely suit.
Of course.
Pop down to, as you say, Vinnie's. Not only is that sustainable, we've got Oscar Hunt donating their sample sizes to their local Vinnies. So for the couple and for those close to them, for the wedding party, yes, absolutely made to measure is so sustainable. But for those who might not have as easy access, there are those other avenues as well.
Definitely.
Where you can still give weight to that beautiful dress code without causing yourself undue stress, I guess.
Of course.
So, and same with
get it altered too.
people wearing, that's right. Same with people wearing gowns, people wearing suits. I think something, you can make throwaway comments like I did before about saying, culturally, when I go to a Lebanese wedding, because I'm Lebanese, I want everyone in a tuxedo, without thinking of obviously what that can mean to people.
Yeah.
But I think there's ways around it.
Definitely.
And it sounds like, you've got gorgeous clients that are coming in, and I'm sure that's always, a talking point and a discussion point.
Yeah.
And also every client that comes in and get an Oscar Hunt suit, well, they can wear that to every single wedding ever for the rest of their life.
Exactly right. And it's that's something we help our clients with as well. So, we probably about 50-50, to be honest, are wedding parties, and then the other 50 is just, the bride of the groom. So just the couple getting married. And again, we know that one suit at a couple of grand is a fair bit, let alone 3, 4, 5, 6.
Absolutely.
And we work with the client based on their budget, based on what look they're wanting, whatever that is. So, if someone comes in and they really would love to have custom made suits for everyone, but obviously their budget doesn't allow for it, we don't just shun them or shoo them away. Like, we'll advise them of higher places that can work, that, we still help them design that entire look and say, go look at this place because, they've got stuff like that that'll work well for the wedding party. So yeah, there's always options, whether it's hiring, whether it's going to Vinnie's, there's so much, there's so many places that you can look for to find something to fit into the dress code. Like it's literally limitless.
And it's amazing to hear that you do that, because I think sometimes going and enjoying one of these beautiful, boutique feeling services, or very boutique services that Oscar Hunt is, people might think, oh, well, I've just got a budget for one suit. That's not for me. I've only got, this budget for my wedding. As you've said, suits are going around $1,000 upwards. But if that's someone's budget, I think it's really nice for them to know they can come into you and feel confident
definitely.
You're going to deliver that. And you're not going to say, well, we need people to come in here with a $20,000 budget and dress everyone at their wedding. That's something I think that, your clients can, or prospective clients can have confidence in. They can come in and be really well respected and embraced by you with, $1,000 is still,
It's
a lot of money.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do think when it's a boutique service, you go in thinking, oh, this is it. This is my budget and
Correct.
I really can't go over. It really sounds like, and meeting you and talking to you probably, I know that a client could walk in and say to you, that's all I've got down to the dollar. And you are going to say to them, brilliant. This is exactly how I can make this work and make you feel like $1 million.
So
and they're going to look like $1 million because any suit from Oscar.
Definitely. And look, for like 99% of people, for everyone else, I should say, the wearer will notice, but you're spending $1,000 on a suit versus spending $3,000 on a suit. As long as it fits well, it's going to look incredible.
Yeah.
Like absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And something that I'm really proud of with Oscar Hunt is even our house fabrics that we start at good fabrics. So we don't sort of start at cheap, crappy, average fabrics. We just start at good fabrics and then we go to like ridiculously luxurious fabrics. And we've got everything in between, which is great because we can cater for everyone. We can cater for the guy who's got $1,000. The person who's got $1,000 to be able to spend on a suit. We can cater for the person that wants to splurge a little bit and have something a bit more pizzazzy. I know that's not a word, but we're going to go with it.
Pizzazzy. I think pizzazzy is defined as a suit with 24 karat gold pinstripes. Have you ever heard of anyone doing anything like that?
I know a guy. Yeah, definitely.
Side note, Oscar Hunt has made a suit like that before.
And Jade as well.
And Jade, some
Jade.
Yeah.
Crushed Jade in a suit. I say that sounds wild.
It's pretty cool. The way it plays with the light.
Yeah.
Like
you
amazing.
showed that to me when we came in. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a fair few of them since because people see and they're like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Hard to photograph.
It would be to be able to get the the way it
The
plays with light. It would be kind of hard.
So, Stephen, when it comes to a wedding couple or a wedding party that are getting their suits with you, like what are the rules? Does everyone have to be matching?
There are no rules. No.
We love that.
Really dramatic, yeah.
Yeah.
No, seriously, there's no rules. I've only got one cardinal rule in entirety of anything that I do, and that's if you're wearing a belt, it has to match your shoes.
Oh,
I like that rule.
That's it. Anything else, I'm pretty happy to go with the flow. Look, there are things that we'd advise that look better, but there are no rules. You don't have to match your groomsmen. Your bridesmaids don't have to match the bridesmen or groomsmen, there's literally no rules. It's totally up to the aesthetic that the bride and groom want. Typically, there are, I guess, common things that people do, and the two main ones are the groom will match everyone. So generally when that's the case and that's what they want, we advise do everyone in the same fabric. Don't try and do one in one fabric and one in another because you can tell. And then the other one is the groom will be slightly different to the rest of the wedding party. And I'm a big believer in less is more. So if you're going to change one thing, do the fabric or do one part of the suit design. You don't have to try and reinvent the wheel. Because to be honest, the only people that are going to be thinking that intuitively about it is going to be the bride and the groom or the couple themselves. And no one else is going to notice. They really won't. I know that sounds a bit, not bleak, but a bit cutthroat, but literally they won't. It's probably something you don't need to stress about. we will tell you if it's going to look average and we'll guide you out of that decision quite well. But it's very rare that we have to get to that point. I'll give you an example for my wedding party. I really wanted everyone in black tie. So all of my groomsmen are wearing a black tux. But again, everyone expects the tailor to do something a bit extra. So mine is a black tux, but slightly different. And I've got 2 suits, but we won't talk about that.
Outfit change.
Outfit change.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's no rules when it comes to matching, not matching. It's totally up to what the couple wants, what their budget allows is another big one as well. Because, if the groom really wants to get himself a $2,500 suit, obviously, times up by 3, that's a fair bit of money. And for some people, that's well over budget. So, we can do things that'll make them look as similar as possible. But, we try and guide people and put their mind at ease that they don't have to match. And you don't have to try so hard to try and make them match either. Because I think that's where a lot of people get stressed about is they'll run around with fabrics from different places and suits from, a hire shop or anywhere else, stressing about, will this match, won't that match? If it's a black suit, it's a black suit. It's gonna look pretty tidy.
And do you find when a couple who are getting married are both wearing a suit on their wedding day, do you find that they come in and know what they want, or are you providing a lot of feedback? Because I guess when you're both wearing a suit on your wedding day, you want to be individual because it's your wedding day, but you're standing up there getting married and in front of everyone, you also want to look cohesive.
Yeah.
Do you find that's something that it's easy to tackle with your couple, or people aren't quite sure how to make that look work?
I like that you use the word cohesive because that's probably like...
Oh, thank you.
It's probably the
I've been
best.
reading my dictionary.
Yeah, you've done very good. Yeah, Oxford's going to be very proud. I think making sure that things look cohesive is probably the best thing to have in mind, because things can look cohesive when they match and things can look cohesive when they don't, as long as it all just blends really well together. I recently did a beautiful couple, and both these lovely ladies wanted to wear something bold and bright and loud, because that was who they are, and that's what we wanted to embody in what we made for them. So we made both of them an absolutely epic double-breasted, like peak lapel corduroy jackets.
Oh, that's cool.
Sounds incredible.
Sounds like you've got to make one for me and Dana pretty soon.
100%.
We'll be matching for
But
the wedding.
they look so cool. They look so cool. The colours, the one was like a navy, like a shade of blue. I can't quite remember exactly what it was. And the other one was like a mustard colour.
Oh, that goes well together.
Yeah.
So you've captured the boldness.
Correct.
But you've complemented. And then once again, all about that cohesion.
Correct. Yeah. So we went with a contrast there.
Yeah, wow.
Rather than matching. We didn't try to pick colours that were necessarily next to each other on a colour wheel. Like these are total opposites.
Oh, yeah.
But they looked stunning together. And again, that was back on what I said about less is more. We didn't go designing 2 totally different outfits. The jacket designs were exactly the same, but the element that was different was the colour. And
Amazing.
that was enough. And sometimes we do it slightly different, where if they're doing the same colour, it'll be an element of the style or design of the suit. That'll be that bit that just embodies more about the person wearing the suit. So some people are a bit more bold. They want to have a wider lapel, a peak lapel, very, very flashy, very out there, very like pow. Whereas others are a little bit more subtle, a little bit quieter. So, we'll make sure that kit just embodies them a little bit more, because at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable in what you wear, suppliers can tell more than anyone else, but you just won't feel it. Like the suit can fit incredibly well, and if you're not comfortable, you can tell. You can read it on someone's face. You just won't feel it the whole day.
And it's your wedding day. You just want to feel the best you've ever felt, being able to relax and enjoy all the hard work you put in. And probably being dressed in a way that you feel amazing, but also feel comfortable is pretty important.
It's so important.
And Stephen, just to put you on the spot, what would be your best 3, if you can think of them, your favourite 3 movies for epic suit vibes?
Oof.
My mind goes to like John Travolta wiggling it on the dance floor in Pulp Fiction,
Yeah, not bad.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that tie was a bit skinny though, so that's probably offensive to you.
That's fair. I love like the Industrial Revolution era in the UK. So like Peaky Blinders vibe.
Oh yeah.
That for me is just one of the tidiest looking suits. A little bit high waisted, pleats, like 3 pieces. Oh, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. and that entire series, because the suits actually evolve throughout the
That's
episodes as
cool.
well. So they go from that really like initial grungy, like rough looking suits, and, you know, as things happen, not to ruin any spoilers, as things happen in that series, you know, things get a bit more refined, a little bit tidier, a little bit sharper, and it's real cool. The other one, it's probably going to be like any Bond movie, to be honest. Any Bond movie, the entire series, will just say that's another one, because again, the evolution of suits throughout all of those movies are just so nice.
Yeah. The Daniel
So
Craig ones
nice.
are really, really good.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very tidy.
Yeah.
And the final one, without being like, what's the best word? Obvious. I've got a love-hate relationship with these suits, to be honest. The suits in Suits are probably the other one. Yeah.
Well, they're probably very made to measure law firm stuff.
They're very like brand specific.
Oh, they would be like
are
Hugo
they?
Boss type
yeah,
style.
Yeah. They're gorgeous suits.
Yeah.
Gorgeous suits. But they're very lawyer
vibe,
which makes sense because that's what the series is
Yeah.
about. But it's very like, you know, sharp and refined and like chiseled.
Yeah.
You know, very like massive wide lapels, which I love the look. I think wide lapels look epic. But yeah, there's a bit more of an elegance about the James Bond style suits that I really like. Just suits is very like broad shoulder, very powerful suits. Whereas James Bond's a bit more elegant, a bit more suave, a bit more bougie. And then we've got, Peaky Blinders is just absolute class.
Your favourite.
Very stylistic. Very
Absolute
stylistic.
class. Love it to bits.
I'm so glad you didn't say Jim Carrey in The Mask. I was going to say you could lose every potential
if you
client.
gave me 4, that would have been the 4th. Yeah. That yellow suit. Oofed.
That's a close number
close
4.
number 4. Yeah.
Somebody stop
Somebody
me.
stop me. I love that movie so
Oh my God, me
much.
too. It's honestly outrageous,
It's like
but I love
one
it.
of my absolute all-time favourite movies. Absolutely
I
incredible.
think it terrified me as a child.
Oh, yeah, it was quite scary and it is
Yeah.
so whack. But
Yeah.
that yellow suit, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it's pretty tidy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So thank you so much for meeting with us today,
Thanks for
Stephen.
having me. This was fun.
Yeah, chatting with us all things suits and Oscar Hunt. It sounds amazing. I feel very enlightened. I know a lot more now, which is great.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Come round. We'll have a
Yes.
cheeky Negroni. And,
I will be there.
Get some nice tidy suits.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to have a suit party.
Suit party.
I'm keen for a
all
suit
it.
party. It sounds
All
fun.
for it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to come and check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Stephen from Oscar Hunt. If you'd like to know where you can find Oscar Hunt, jump onto facebook.com/Oscar Hunt, www.oscarhunt.com.au, or check out any of the Instagram handles at Oscar Hunt Tailors, at Oscar Hunt_womenswear, or at Oscar Hunt Weddings. Oscar Hunt is located all over Australia, specifically in Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and the Gold Coast. If you're loving listening to the podcast, we would love if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Thanks for listening to The Wedding Edit, a wedding planning podcast for the modern couple. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our next episode.